All right, everybody, today we're going to talk about a super underrated chair that's super under the radar. Although you think this is a normal chair that's sold in the market, that's far beyond the truth. This chair right here has sold over 3 million worldwide. 3 million people have had this chair and sat in it, and counting. This is the Haworth Zody chair, the classic version of it. As you know, there's a new version that just came out not too long ago. But we're going to review the classic version of the Haworth Zody. And we're going to talk about all the features, the pros and the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This chair is manufactured actually in Bruce, Mississippi. So this is a quality made in the USA chair by a lot of the terms and definitions of made in the USA. Being a little bit of an expert in the industry, we know that a lot of the parts do come from overseas, even when a lot of these big brands are saying that they're made in the USA. For example, we know that Herman Miller makes a lot of their parts overseas, and they still say that it's made in the USA because it meets the qualifications and it's assembled finally in their Michigan facilities. I would probably expect at least some of the moving parts of the Zody, especially the plastic molded and then the mechanism, may or may not be made overseas. Moving forward, the first thing I would like to talk about in terms of the Zody is the most unique part of the Zody that no other chair has in the market. The asymmetrical patented lumbar support. It is the only chair that has an asymmetrical lumbar. And that asymmetrical lumbar means basically that you can control the left and the right side of the chair independent of each other. So I could tighten this side and loosen the other side independently. So that's why you're seeing these completely moving independent of the other. If I hold this side static and I decide to change the other side, I can actually control this side independent of this side. And that's really a feature. Who knows if it really makes a difference? Probably for most people it doesn't. There's a very probably small sector of society that has a very finicky back in which they want one side firmer than the other side. Is it really a big value? That's for most customers to say and decide on their own. But they're probably, I would assume, a small sector of society that has a precarious back situation or back injury, which may require them to have differing layers of adjustments. So that out of the way, let's talk about the other features which are common with other chairs that we know in the industry. The first and most important is obviously the arms. Here, you can see the arms adjusting up and down in height. That's where 95% of the chairs are at the market. As you get into the lesser and lesser numbers, and as you get to the upper tiers of the ergonomic industry, you're going to start noticing that at least pivoting arms are a requirement. And then even more refined than that, you're going to have less chairs that have full 4D, standing for 4 directions arm movement. So they go up, down vertically, and they go in, out horizontally, and they also pivot. It's a very good chair in terms of the arms and the adjustments that you get from that. Next, you have the tension control for the chair. It's kind of unique. Yeah, all chairs in the high-end ergonomic market have tension control, but it's the only one that I've seen that reminds me of a 1930s classic crank car engine. You kind of crank it forward to tighten up the back tension, and you reverse it counterclockwise to loosen up the back tension. It's kind of interesting because you really do get a higher level of responsiveness if we're going to compare it to something like the classic Aeron and the tension knob that you have there, where they did, by the way, improve that, and their remastered Aeron made their tension knob more sensitive. However, this in their own classic version, which Haworth Zody still makes today, even though they came out with a new version, they still make and sell the classic. Their classic version of their tension knob is very responsive. It's a very effective mechanism that works very well. Next to that, you're going to see on it is rear tilt lock, pushing it down. I can lock it. Some people actually don't like it. And they've complained about the tilt lock of the Zody because even with the tilt lock on, there is about 3 to 4 degrees where it still leans back. The Zody is intentional in doing so. They didn't want a very rigid response. They wanted you, even with the tilt lock on, to be able to have a certain amount of leeway. Now, some customers love it, some customers hate it, but that's the fact that it was an intentional design. The forward tilt, pushing it down, is actually a very responsive forward tilt. I can lean forward and I feel the forward tilt of the Zody pushing me forward. Now, not all the Zodys have the forward tilt, but this one does, and that's if you get the full featured of this classic Zody. And I like the forward tilt on this. If you're a fan and you actually do use it and you slide the arms forward, you really get that maximized forward function of the chair. That we're going to go to the height, which is actually on the right side, right next to the forward tilt and the rear tilt and the tension. Very simple, rudimentary, nothing special, up and down motion. On the other side, the functionality, you have the seat depth. Now, I love and hate the seat depth on the classic Zody because of one reason. It has a high range of motion. So I love the seat depth in that you're able to change the range of the depth of the Zody by a significant amount, but it's not really intuitive. It has this tab here, and you're instinctively going to push up on it like everything else. That's what 95% of chairs have. When you have a tab, you either push up or down on it to get it to work. This is not the way that the Zody is made. Unfortunately, you have to really read instructions or see adjustment guides to know that you have to grab the tab and you pull it outwards, and that allows you to unlock it. And then even while you're sitting, you can slide out. Sliding back in is a little bit more of a difficulty to do while you're sitting. You have to usually stand up and then do one of these things. Hold the base with your foot and then take the tab out and then push it in. That allows you to push the seat back in, and now you're able to sit back in the chair again. As far as the back goes, I love the back. The mesh is a really nice suspension on the frame, and it covers a great amount of surface area. It is pretty responsive when I lean left and right, even in the back. I like that it's still really breathable while supporting me. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of cushion seats, but if I had to choose a cushion seat, this is not a bad option. The cushion seat on the Zody is a very standard rectangle shape, pretty decently wide enough that it can fit most people. I just don't think there's anything unique or special about it. That's one of the more mediocre things about the Zody. But again, if you're okay with, standard cushion seats, then this is probably the way to go. In summary, the Zody's biggest pros are the back. It has one of the most comfortable backs in the industry. It has a very responsive forward tilt compared to other chairs in the same quality and category of pricing. It has a very durable material and frame. It's made out of a lot of aluminum and steel throughout on the arms, the back frame. You have parts that are in there. And then the base, very solid metal, and then even the casing for the mechanism. All of those are made out of really high quality durable materials. The frame is also a high quality plastic up on the top outer edges of the back. Where are the cons? We've noticed a high level of the older versions of the classics. They have a problem with the assembly and construction of the arm pads. Their older versions was a 2-layer foam with a vinyl. Those happen to burst open and crack all the time. We've seen it all the time in Zodys where they pop and burst open. They actually rectified that in their later versions. They installed a solid one-piece rubber arm pad for the Zodys moving forward instead of the 2-layer foam versus vinyl on top. So that's prevented that bursting and splitting action that a lot of people just randomly would sit on the chair and then see, boom, the black vinyl would crack and you see the yellow foam underneath it. It's not too unheard of. But like I said, to their credit, they found that manufacturing defect and later on rectified it. For anyone that wants a Zody that's a high quality refurb, OfficeLogix has them at an unbeatable price, and for a limited time, we do have a promo code that's automatically applied at checkout. Check it out on our website and go there anytime.